Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
You wouldn't go through major surgery without getting a second opinion, would you? Well, neither should you tie your money up in an annuity before listening to this show.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, retirement specialist and six-time author and fiduciary, Tony Walker.
As of the date of today's recording, February 11th, 2025, annuity sales are going through the roof. In 2024 alone, annuity sales topped the $432 billion mark, up 12% from the previous year, which proves the point I've been trying to make for more than 20 years. Assuming you are a saver and more concerned with the return of your money than on it, and assuming you don't want to one day run out of money in retirement, the only way, let me repeat this, the only way to guarantee that won't happen is to place some of your retirement savings into an annuity. Now notice, however, I did not say invest all of your savings into an annuity. I said consider investing some of it. The reason I emphasize some and not all is because today, with more than 11,000 baby boomers turning 65 each and every day, I'm seeing more and more savers come to our office after they have locked up their money into an annuity in hopes that we can get them out of it. Which is why today, for those of you who currently own an annuity, thinking of buying an annuity, or recently attended a free dinner seminar at your college campus or your favorite public library, all I can say is please watch the rest of this show, or if you're on the radio, listen to the rest of this show. By doing so, you could save yourself a lot of aggravation and possibly save yourself a lot of money in the future. So let's get started with the title of today's show, which is Too Little, Too Late. Well, welcome, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement. And yes, I am that little man in the sweater vest, retirement planning specialist and full-time fiduciary, the annuity king himself, Tony Walker. And today, yours truly, someone who has been dubbed the annuity king by his peers, an advisor who has personally accounted for more than $700 million of annuity sales, and is not going to talk actually about the benefits of annuities, which there are many, but rather I'm going to share with you the pitfalls of annuities and why so many savers who purchase annuities without first having a written game plan from an experienced retirement planning firm such as Tony Walker Financial will one day possibly regret investing in that annuity. But why? Why would anyone invest their hard-earned money into any financial product without first fully understanding the pros and the cons of the investment they are relying on to be worry-free in retirement, especially annuities? Well, I can tell you why. It's called commissions. Commissions paid to an advisor or an annuity peddler that can be quite substantial and require no work on their part after the sale is made. Which is why today I'm going to ask you to pay close attention before you take that leap of faith and possibly get stuck in the wrong annuity as we explore today's topic and the buyer's remorse that I see from unsuspecting savers who purchase the wrong annuity. So sit back and enjoy Too Little, Too Late. I'm Tony Walker. We'll be right back. Wondering how annuity peddlers can offer bonuses of up to 15 or even 20% on your money? Well, as the old saying goes, if it sounds too good to be true, there's always a catch. Here's my thoughts. Don't get stuck in the wrong annuity. Get a free second opinion from one of the leading writers of annuities in the country, Tony Walker Financial. To get started, simply log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call 877-499-WALK. Funny, as we record today's show on February 11th, 2025, with more than 11,000 baby boomers turning 65 each and every day, guess what? I'm one of them. In fact, to celebrate my 65th birthday and in recognition of my brand name, the Annuity King, my granddaughters, Scout and Ivy, made this cool birthday crown for me to wear.
He's a good kid.
Okay, so back to this notion of too little, too late when it comes to the buyer's remorse I often encounter when savers investing their hard-earned money into an annuity can't get out of it or don't understand the annuity in the first place. There's also the issue of once they buy the annuity, since the agent or advisor is no longer under an obligation to service it, nothing usually happens. It goes on all the time. For instance, a very frustrated 86-year-old widow called me recently for a second opinion on a few annuities she had recently purchased and whether we could help her get out of these things without huge surrender penalties. When I asked her why she bought them, she said the agent convinced her to buy them by saying the following: "I would put my mother in these same annuities." Sounds like to me this annuity peddler doesn't think much of his mother. The second instance of someone who called me that same day, dazed and confused over a couple of annuities they purchased after attending a dinner seminar back 10 years ago or so, said this: "We have been with this firm for 10 years, and the annuities they sold us haven't made the money they said they would. Worse yet, every time we go to talk to someone about our accounts, there's a different advisor to meet us." So why? Why would an advisor or annuity peddler so quickly sell an annuity to someone who didn't understand the annuity or sell it with the intention of never having a plan to service what they sell? The answer? Commissions. Commissions paid by the insurance company issuing the annuity to the advisor selling them. For instance, one of the current annuities being touted by many annuity peddlers out there is something called a free bonus. And we're going to take a look at the whiteboard. Let's walk over there right now, and I'm going to show you the true cost of this free bonus. So let's take a look at this particular annuity, and we have changed the name to protect the innocence of the annuity because they're all a little different. And let me preface this. Obviously, we've sold annuities for years. In many cases, bonuses can work, but you have to be careful with a bonus annuity because the way they're being sold, a lot of times people aren't getting ready to share with you what I'm going to share with you. In other words, if you have to get out of that annuity early, it can be disastrous. So this is our title, Too Little, Too Late. These are people, again, who have bought these annuities, come to us. It's too late for us to do anything because you're going to see this in a minute. Now, in this example, they had put in $300,000 into this bonus annuity, and this bonus on this annuity currently pays 15%. So on paper, this is looking pretty good. Let's be honest. If you could put in $300,000 and overnight on paper you have $345,000 and somebody's calling that free money, I would say, okay, I'm in. Let's keep going. And then in many cases, since this annuity is a fixed indexed annuity, they'll start talking about how you can earn 5 and 6% return without any problem. Folks, if it's a fixed indexed annuity, it's not guaranteed to make anything. So I'm going to show you this example on this particular annuity. This happened recently. I saw this. Somebody wanted out. So this is year one. Let's do it this way. And in year two, the person said, you know what? I don't think I want this annuity, or for whatever reason they need their money back. I'll just cash it in and take my $345,000 and go home. And they found out that's not how this works at all. First of all, this annuity has a fee. So they already had to charge 1% on that. So there was $3,450 deducted from the $345,000. That was the fee. This particular product has what's called a bonus recapture. So let's say you surrender the contract. Let's write that down. So they decide to get out in the second year. They're going to take back, listen closely, the entire bonus. In other words, that money wasn't free at all and it wasn't vested. The bonus is really not real money if you surrender the contract. Now, here's the worst part of all. Remember, the agent had to get a commission on this. We sell annuities for a commission. In this case, this pays a pretty big commission. So they had a charge, this is on top of it, of roughly 10% of that. So roughly $34,500 had to be deducted as a surrender charge against the annuity. So now all of a sudden you take the original $300,000, you don't get the $45,000, that's gone. You have to subtract approximately $38,000 from this. So if you surrender to this in the second year on this particular annuity, again, they're all a little different. I'm just showing you on this particular annuity. What is that? That's around, I'm just going to ballpark it, that's around $200 and $62,000 you would have got on this so-called risk-free bonus annuity. Folks, this could be a disaster. So that's you right now. If you're thinking about purchasing an annuity, especially something with a bonus on it, I would implore you to please get a second opinion from Tony Walker Financial before you leap into this particular product that you may not be able to get out of. Why get stuck in an annuity that is not going to be suited to you? And a lot of times what happens is people are writing these annuities and there's no game plan to go along with it, which at Tony Walker Financial, we will be happy to provide you a free written game plan with our proprietary process before you leap into any annuity. So to take advantage of our free second opinion service, just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, click on that Let's Get Started button. Again, there's no cost or obligation. And by the way, if the internet's not your thing and you just want to give us a call, we have operators standing by even during the weekends to take your call, and we can set up that free phone call for that second opinion. Our number, 877-499-9255. When I come back, an interesting Tony in the Trenches about somebody getting offered a lump sum buyout and how we at Tony Walker would approach that, and especially if there is an annuity to be considered in the retirement plan. I'm Tony Walker. You stay tuned. I'll be right back. Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a buyout? Has the company you work for moved, been acquired, or closed its doors forever? And finally, do you have a 401k with a previous employer you'd like to move to safer territory? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k or lump sum pension to Tony Walker Financial. Let's meet in person to discuss your retirement options. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your free, no-obligation appointment. Let us help you today. Our Tony in the Trenches comes to us today from Sam over in Radcliffe, Kentucky, who asks the following. Tony, I'm 68 years of age and work for the federal government. Recently, I received a buyout offer to leave work now while I had not planned on retiring yet. It appears to be a good deal for me. Question is, should I take it or keep working? So, regardless of whether you are a federal employee being offered a buyout or someone currently with a company that is offering to give you a lump sum to take an early exit, my advice is before taking them up on their offer is consider some of these recommendations. Now, again, this is just my opinion, but in working in this field for almost 41 years, here's what I've seen before just leaping at a buyout. First of all, you got to consider your current age. Many times this will have a huge effect on how you're going to handle health insurance, when to draw Social Security. So if you're meeting with somebody like us at Tony Walker Financial, your current age could be very important before taking that buyout. Number two, your current health and well-being for yourself, even a partner, or listen, even parents. It's kind of interesting. Some people will say, boy, this is almost a godsend. And I'll say, why is that? Even if they're a little younger, they'll say, well, I've got some health issues, or I've got a partner who's having health issues, or I've been wanting to take care of my parents who are elderly. So sometimes don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Consider what's going on in your world health-wise, or maybe others who need you, and that possibly might spur you on to go on and take the buyout. Number three, what are you going to do if you retire sooner than planned? You know, when you get these buyouts out of the blue, most people come in to talk to me and try to weigh through all this. They're thinking, well, I've never thought about retiring yet. In some cases they are, but many people that just have not thought about it. So be careful to rush to the buyout if you don't have plan B in terms of what you're going to do with all this free time all of a sudden. Number four, if you're under the age of 65, please make sure you've thought through the health insurance premiums that you might have to pay. Now, sometimes a buyout will allow you to take insurance and cover it through your former employer. They'll give you a good deal on it. Maybe it's through a pension, whatever the case may be. But in many cases, you're going to be on your own getting health insurance. So be sure you talk to someone who specializes in individual health insurance to find out what your options are, again, if you're younger than 65. Also, you got to consider this. You might lose some benefits. I met someone a couple of months ago, and they had not thought about the amount of life insurance they would lose if they accepted the buyout. And this would be important. Let's say you're having some health issues and you really don't want to retire. You know, you could lose $500,000 of term or something that the employer's paying, but if you leave, you can't take it with you. So make sure you know what benefits you might be losing if you accept this buyout. And finally, this is a biggie. If you are not accounting for taxes on the 401k or the taxes you're going to have to pay on that lump sum pension, you need to really slow down. Get with a retirement planning firm, someone who specializes in tax planning like Tony Walker Financial, and we got to figure out how much of a partner, what percentage Uncle Sam owns on that 401k or that lump sum pension. So you need to make sure to check the details out. Make sure you meet with somebody like us before you take on that bonus and that buyout or whatever it is they're going to be offering you. Now, let's say you are coming to us for retirement planning help. Maybe you're retired, retiring soon, or maybe it's one of those deals where you're thinking, man, I'm going to take this buyout. I want to meet with somebody that's a retirement planning firm. And Tony, I've heard you talk about these annuities. I know they're getting popular. I'm reading more and more about them. What is the difference between you at Tony Walker Financial and your expertise in annuities and maybe all these other people that are starting to tout these annuities? Well, let's look at a few things right now. First of all, we have a process. It's the 5-step process we call the worry-free retirement. And folks, I've used this process in annuities for years. We've got it down pat, and we make sure that we explain the process to you before you just rush into an annuity. Number 2, contrary to what some of the ads on TV say that are fiduciaries, that they're not supposed to take commissions, that has nothing to do with anything. We are fiduciaries. We work on both a fee basis and a commission basis. And here's the thing. We are totally transparent about both. We'll be happy to share with you exactly what the fees are. And yes, if you want to know the commissions we're making on the various types of annuities we sell, we're happy to share with you our commissions. Now, I can tell you this, over the long term, it's kind of interesting. Sometimes, and you don't hear this from other people, sometimes if you put your money with us, let's say with our Charles Schwab platform, over the long term, we're actually probably going to make more money on the fees than we would the commissions on the annuity. So again, it all depends on what you're doing, what the plan is, and what types of annuities you might purchase. Number 3, we are expert in annuities. Folks, I've done these for years. We've written thousands of annuities. We've written over $700 million. We've watched all this stuff play out. Why would you risk your life savings by investing in an annuity with somebody that really doesn't understand them, or more importantly, does not provide you a written game plan? This is something you need to be very careful of. Number 4, boy, this is a biggie. We just talked about this. We do service what we sell. See, the problem with annuities is it's a one-and-done deal for the agent. They get all their commission up front. There is no obligation to service those folks. We don't work that way. Even though we, too, get an upfront commission on the sale of annuities, we hang in there with you. We're going to service that annuity. We're going to be there for the long haul. Number 5, this goes without saying. Well, we have an in-house tax planning department free of charge for those services for our clients. And that is something a lot of people just don't provide. We're going to help you with the tax planning surrounding those annuities. And finally, this is one of my favorite. With the proprietary income planning software, we can put that written game plan together and then show you within the game plan with other investments, maybe some of the other accumulation annuities. If we so choose, we can show you how that beloved
mailbox money
is used with those types of annuities. So if you're retired or nearing retirement, maybe you've got an old annuity and just want a second opinion before you possibly get ready to buy an annuity and get stuck in the wrong annuity, let's do this. Let's set up a free phone call. We'll provide that second opinion. There's no obligation. You just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. You're going to click on that little Let's Get Started. We'll arrange the phone call. Or if you like, 24/7, you can call us at 877-499-9255. I'm Tony Walker. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The individuals in this interview are uncompensated clients at the time of filming. Their opinions expressed were provided to Worry-Free Productions for use as an advertisement by Tony Walker Financial. Please refer to Form CRS and Form ADV Part 2B Disclosure Brochure for information regarding the advisory services offered by Tony Walker Financial.
Our client spotlight today features Mr. Garrett Bates and Miss Melody Bates. And Bates, it's so good to have you with us, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Tony.
It's an honor.
So first of all, tell us a little bit about what you did for a living. We'll start with you, Garrett.
Oh, I was do the corporate grind for 25 years in the healthcare industry and focused on helping the organization run more effectively.
And then yourself, Melanie.
I'm an artist professionally. I do commission portraits.
Wow. And I understand you had a very big honor. Tell us who you were recently commissioned to do a portrait of.
Well, I was honored to be chosen to paint the official portrait of Governor Bashir.
And that is a beautiful portrait. It's something else. You've got to be proud of that.
Thank you. It was actually a dream of mine to paint a Kentucky governor, and couldn't have picked a better governor to be able to paint.
I'm so impressed.
Thank you. I will say, not too many people knew that I did that at the time. You were one of the very few that did, and that's because of a great relationship with you.
Well, that's awful nice of you to say. And so, Garrett, now you're not really, we were talking about this, you consider yourself retired, but not really. Tell us kind of what's going on in your life right now.
Well, we decided a long time ago that we wanted to do an early retirement at 55, which is now 8 years ago. And we had the vision, but we didn't have a plan that we knew how to execute, that we knew what to do with. And that's where we came across you, and what you spoke to us really kind of touched us in that we found your approach to be sound and biblical, and something that we could get behind. And so what it allowed us to do is to take this life that we wanted and to start it when we wanted to do it. And that really was, has been beneficial. And over these last 8 years, we can't say how happy we are that we have made that choice to move into this phase of life.
Tell us a little bit about the experience in working with the staff. I'm very proud of the staff and just how we run things here and the operation in general.
That level of quality service and just personal relationship has been, really part of the whole experience for these last really 9 years.
Well, I would just reiterate what I said earlier, in that, to walk into your office talking about finances, it's more than that. I wanted to share something that was really special that was going on in my life with you at the time. And you're a finance guy, but you're also developed that relationship. You've asked, you always ask us, what are we doing and what's up in life? And, it's just,
you make sure that the financial things match up to the things that we're trying to do.
Looking for an advisor you can trust? Schedule your free phone call with Tony at TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call 1-877-499-9255.
Who can you trust? It's one of the most important decisions you'll have to make. Question is, are you ready? Well, we're here to help at Tony Walker Financial. We care more about you than we do your money, and we have over 2,000 happy clients and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Rolling over a 401k, confused about Social Security, maybe you're afraid of running out of money. Learn how to use and enjoy and protect your hard-earned money. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started.
Tony, I did a little research on you before I came in today, and I know that you're one of the largest producers of annuities around. But then when I looked into annuities on the internet, it seems like there's some negatives about annuities. Can you walk me through why they're good?
Yeah, I'd say when you say some negatives, actually, if you Googled annuities on the internet, probably more bad than good. Unfortunately, most people that talk about investments anymore come from kind of the investment world or Wall Street. Annuity products are not Wall Street products, so there's the rub right there. Annuities are issued by insurance companies. So insurance companies and Wall Street, if you think about it, they're kind of competing forces. So annuities are built for what I call the saver personality. They're not really investment products. Annuities are there to protect principal. They're to make sure people don't run out of money. For retirement planning specialists such as ourselves, they're excellent because we can sit down with a saver, especially somebody who's retired or nearing retirement. And for the most part, depending on if they want what I call mailbox money, we can tell them exactly how much income, exactly, guaranteed, they're going to have for the rest of their lives. Now, if you look at it that approach, you'd say, what's not to love about an annuity? So you got to understand there's a lot of people out there that do not like annuities because they don't sell annuities. They're selling products that maybe have a little more risk and possibility for growth, but a lot of the clients we work with are savers. They don't like taking a lot of risk, they want more certainty, and annuities are excellent for those types of folks.
That makes perfect sense. And, people like to find information on the internet. Is there a better place to get more information about annuities?
Well, and I am very good at annuities. We've proved that we know what we're talking about. So I would encourage people to go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, and just download our free Annuities Made Easy guide. I think that will help people understand these products much better.
For additional information and scheduling your free, no-obligation appointment, go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
This is Heather Hughes. I'm one of the full-time fiduciaries here at Tony Walker Financial. One of my main roles is to research and evaluate different annuities we offer to clients. One of our common complaints we hear from savers is that they don't understand what annuity they've purchased from another agent or advisor and how their money may be tied up. With that said, we'd like to educate clients on the 3 types of annuities for planning purposes. First is the short-term accumulation annuity. That typically has a surrender period of less than 5 years. A surrender period is a time frame during which there are restrictions on how much money you can withdraw from your annuity given any year. These annuities often offer fixed interest rates for a guaranteed period. Long-term accumulation annuities typically have a surrender period between 6 and 10 years. These are geared toward long-term potential growth. And finally, income annuities, or what we like to call mailbox money, provide lifetime income for you and or your spouse for as long as you live. We advise clients on what might be the best choice for annuities based on their individual circumstances and how it would best fit with their income plan. A recent investment news article titled "Annuity Sales Surged to $432.2 billion high in 2024" shares a few insights onto why annuity sales have had such a record-breaking year. Annuity sales clocked in at a whopping $432.2 billion for 2024. That's up 12% from the previous year. This is reflecting the consumer demand for stability. Savers prioritize principal protection through fixed indexed or fixed annuities. They like guaranteed returns and lifetime income. The market volatility of 2022 led advisors to seek safer alternatives that the typical 60-40 stock-to-bonds model replaces. At Tony Walker Financial, we have recognized the benefit of annuities in our retirement planning clients for nearly 2 decades. Annuities can be valuable, but require careful planning due to surrender periods and contract terms. According to FINRA, annuity sales increased nearly 76% from the years 2020 to 2023. The 2024 sales topped to $432.2 billion. Why are annuities becoming so popular? These increased sales have been driven considerably by the increased demand of lifetime income provided by income riders. Fixed indexed annuities offer market-linked growth plus downside protection with the option of a lifetime income rider. Keep in mind these annuities have complex structures and longer surrender periods, typically between 7 and 10 years. Having a retirement game plan will provide a clear strategy and will prevent you from being locked into an unsuitable annuity. Having a fiduciary guide you is crucial to achieve a balanced income with financial flexibility. If you'd like to see if an annuity is right for you, please visit our website, TonyWalkerFinancial.com, and click Let's Get Started. Or call our office at 877-499-9255.
Well, speaking of valuing others' opinions when your life most depends on it, I've got a free offer for you savers out there who are in search of a second opinion from an expert in the field of retirement planning and also an expert in the world of annuities, someone you can trust. And we call this the free 10-minute fiduciary phone call, where you and I will visit briefly by phone to see if we can be of help to you. To take advantage of this free offer, just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. You're going to click on that little Let's Get Started button, and we'll arrange that phone call. Internet not your thing? No big deal. Call us 24/7. The toll-free number to reach us and set up that phone call is 877-499-9255. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's program. Next week, an interesting show. What happens to your account and your retirement when, not if, when something happens to your advisor? I'm Tony Walker. We look forward to seeing you next week on the Worry-Free Retirement. But between now and then, if all else fails, you be worry-free and you make it a good one.